do you feel content with where you're at? You're still pushing to grow, or what? How do you deal with that? You know,
it's tough. I feel like it's tough because I feel like it's human nature to always be, okay, well, what am I gonna do next, right? Especially as you start to get to different levels of growth, you get a little bit addicted. At least I get a little bit addicted to it. And like the first week in the villa was just like, oh man, look how nice the kitchen looks. Let's look at the pool right there. Let's lay by the pool right there. That's nice. We built this, man. We designed. You know what I mean? But then after like a week, it just almost like leaves your mind. It's like, well, this is just my office. This is where I work now. Oh, there's a pool there. But I just walk by it now on the way to my car to go to the gym or whatnot. You know, so and not that I don't appreciate it at all. I still try to. You know, like last night, Julie went to bed, and I kind of just went up and sat out on like the terrace, just silence, darkness, and tried to just enjoy things. But I don't know. I don't know if I have the answer. I don't know if I'm the guy who has the answer how to balance that, because now I'm just like grinding this next project that we're gonna release, and then I'm sure after that it's the next thing, and I don't know.
I mean, let's take it back.
How do you manage that?
Well, I'm on the chase. Like I see like there's 3 different parts of life that we have to try and equalize. You know, and relationship is obviously one that's super, super important. Your physical health and mental health is super, super important. And then your business and your money. And I spent my 20s like focusing 100% on physicality because I was fighting. Yeah. And I got to a level where I was a professional athlete, so I smashed that one, smashed it. I got married, smashed that one. Wife's amazing, got family, got kids, smashed it. Money's still not exactly at the same level I think those 2, 3 should be at. You know, I'm still doing very well, but I'm not where I see as the same. But as now I've been focusing, you said it at the podcast earlier, I got a bit out of shape at the beginning of the year. As I've been focusing on the money and the business and building, these other 2 start like falling off. You know what I mean? So I think we're in a constant game. You know, trying to balance out our life. And I talk about this in fighting. When I was the best shape of my life, winning fights, knocking people out, I was probably in the worst state of the rest of my life.
Like the relationship and the money.
Was trash, had no money, sleeping on the floor.
Yeah.
But like they used to always say, like a happy fighter is never a good fighter. Yeah. Because you need like hunger and pain to translate into a fight. Yeah. So trying to utilize that now to find balance in my life is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find like what the stages would be at. And again, I don't think I have the answer. That's why I asked you. I was hoping that's again, I started this podcast to bring people on to ask questions that I was doing it selfishly. I want to know things. And selfishly, obviously starting this YouTube journey that I'm going on, I brought you on because you've been doing YouTube for 7, 8, 9, I don't know, years.
7. Obviously, I'm not too good with my years. I think 7 years though.
I'm the same. Time doesn't exist. Let's say 7 years, and obviously smashed it. You got like over 1 million subscribers. You told me before the podcast, like, you were in the trenches, did the hard work, done your 10,000 hours of editing, camera footage, all this sort of stuff. You know, so how's that journey been for you from day one? Like, what inspired you to start YouTube, and how have you found that journey, you know?
I guess I felt a bit lost kind of when I was going through university. Like, I was going through the steps I was supposed to go through, but didn't really feel like, you know, I got my degree in computer science, and I started working at this company writing some like code. I was like, I don't know what I want to do, but this isn't what I want to do. And then I started doing personal training because my cousin had started, and I was kind of getting like addicted to the gym and bodybuilding. So I quit the software job, started working as a trainer, and then I did that for a couple of years, but you don't make that much money from it. And then I was like living in the gym, and I stopped caring about working out after a little bit because I'm just there all the time anyway. And the YouTube, I guess I started looking to some YouTubers at the time. I don't know if you know, like Elliot Hulse. He's one of like the OG like self-improvement.
I know nobody. This is the thing. I know nobody about YouTube. I'm like a
yeah. Anyway, some masculine guy had his life together, was starting to build his businesses. He was jacked, and he had this series called Yo Elliot, where like people would send him a question like, "Yo Elliot, you know, I saw this girl, like, my girlfriend's doing this, or Yo Elliot, I don't know what to do," and he would just sit there and answer. There was no editing or anything. It was a really old like camera footage, just a straight shot. He'd be like breathing in between. You know what I mean? It was a different era of YouTube, very raw. But I'd watch one of these videos every morning, and it started to get me motivated, got me thinking like bigger and like, what do I actually want to do? And like, maybe it is possible to do different shit. So I think because of the impact that had on me, I wanted to document my journey on YouTube as well. And I kind of at first really enjoyed, and I still do, enjoyed like the filming and the editing aspect of it. I guess like I have a creative part of me that gets satisfied through that. But then as I started, you know, increasing my level a little bit with my fitness or with the businesses or with the YouTube channel itself started growing, and I started seeing a bit of a community of guys forming in the comments who were relating to me. I guess that also started to give me a deeper sense of purpose that fuck, now it's on me to show these guys like a positive example of what I can do here. And I kind of shouldered that responsibility, and that has been, I guess, a lot of the, it's like we were talking about before, like what's the next level? What's the next level? What's the next level? And I think part of me feels like I got to continue that example, and I have to keep to the next level, even if maybe it's not always money. Maybe it's, you know, something else that I'm improving, but yeah.
I think because that's super interesting, because that's, for me, kind of what I'm doing. Like, starting YouTube and like this, people call it like a personal brand or whatever you want to call it. I feel like that gives me a reason, like, to improve. I know it sounds stupid because you obviously should just improve anyway, but like with people are watching, and you got to get better, and you got to improve, and you got to level up, and you got to do these things. And like, there's a guy close to me that I talk to a lot about personal branding, and he said like you should use it as an opportunity to do the things you want to do in life and improve yourself as much as possible. So if you're, and remember, if you're building a personal brand or a YouTube, if you have something wrong with you, a weakness, they are going to expose it. If you're fat, you're going to get called fat. If you're ugly, you're going to get called ugly. Like, people are brutal on the internet, right? So, but don't use that as like, don't feel bad about it. You see that, okay, maybe I'm a bit fat. You know what I mean? Maybe I need to get better, in better shape. So again, with my journey at the moment, fitness journey, like I said, I was a pro athlete in amazing shape, but there's so many pro athletes that end up being fat pieces of shit. So many, especially fighters, because they lose all kind of whatever direction. So for me, I'm like, okay, I need to be in shape, because I'm going to talk to people about responsibility, and I'm going to talk to people about accountability. I can't be a fucking fat piece of shit eating burgers. But as I started making money and business and all the rest of it, when affluence comes and flying private and also business, whatever, like, and going out for nice dinner, you just put on weight, you know what I mean? So I had to readjust. And for me, I feel like I'm, what do you say, shouldering? I like that word, shouldering the responsibility of I'm trying to inspire a younger generation with my content. And for me to do that, I got to be an inspiring guy, right? So that's kind of, I'm showing my journey, whatever you want to call it. But I never thought of it like that. The way you worded it, I quite like that. But you've gone through so many phases already, I guess, with your YouTube. Like, because I watched some of the earlier stuff, and you did some pickup stuff, some fitness stuff. Like, what was the first thing you started with on YouTube?
At first, it was probably like a combination of a bunch of shit. But then some of these videos when I was living in Boston, like going up and talking to random girls and just, I don't know. And it wasn't good, but again, it was documenting. It was documenting my progress and showing, we'll see, this is how my rejections look. And I think actually it's one of the reasons I got a lot of followers at first. I think a lot of these videos went viral because I showed some like brutal rejections mixed with maybe like a bit of a smoother conversation. And that was a different era where like this idea of like cold approach pickup on the streets was glorified. That's also before social media and Tinder and all this shit. Like, you did also have to put yourself out there more to meet women. These days, you don't really have to. You know, it's not as needed. So I think that the content really matched where guys' mindset was at the time, and it was just like the right content at the right time. And those videos helped build the channel a bit, because those are the ones getting a lot of views at first. But after a while, I got kind of sick of filming those ones. And also, I didn't have like a legit videographer, so I'd either have Julia, literally like with like this shitty camera like around the corner while I'm talking to these girls, or like my buddy Dave. And half the time I'd go and I'd be like, oh, that was a sick one. You know, did you get that? And then I'd look at the clip and he was like filming his knee or something, because I had these people who were nervous, not knowing how to use the camera gear. So at some point I was like, I'm not gonna do those videos anymore. But I can look back at them now like fondly, because it was like it was an experience, it was an adventure trying to film those.